we interrupt our usual CBQ intro with a new radio station. That's right, it's 24/7 Black Widow song parodies. Keep listening for Black Widow songs all the time. Here we go with some Soundgarden singing Black Widow.
Black Widow, won't you go and take the Red Room down? Black Widow, won't you go? Break your nose, break your nose.
Black Widow. And if you're younger than 30, you have no idea what that song is.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 187 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. I am your host, Brett, and I am here with my friend and your co-host and my co-host and your friend, EvilJeff. Hello, darling.
Hello, friend.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I think we should get to some...
What are you gonna pick?
Ooh.
Hot topics.
Yeah.
Because...
we've got big hot topics.
Yeah, the Emmys just came out.
It's Emmy fever, and I've got a fever. Emmy fever.
I'm telling you, right now, Best Actress in a Limited Series is like a dagger to my heart.
It is a dagger to my heart. It really, so first of all, congratulations to WandaVision. 23 Emmy nominations.
Yep. Including
Best Limited Series, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress. Yeah, that Best Lead Actress in a Limited Series category. So we got Cynthia Erivo. It's not going to be you. We've got Michaela Cole, for I May Destroy You. We've got Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. Yay! And then we have Kate Winslet as Mayor of Easttown. Shit. And then, and then double shit, Anna Taylor-Joy for Queen's Gambit. Fuck.
Literally, all of them are deserving of it.
All of them are deserving.
Like,
only one of them is Wanda.
I know. But that's the thing is I was like, Wanda has to win it. Wanda has to win. Like, it has to be Elizabeth Olsen. It has to be Elizabeth Olsen. But the I May Destroy You is like groundbreaking. Mayor of Easttown, like Kate Winslet never did anything like that before. Like you're like, fuck.
And Anna Taylor-Joy was all the rage.
Anna Taylor-Joy, she won the Golden Globe. She's probably the favorite.
Yeah, I think she's my prediction.
So it's kind of like, what the fuck? I have a feeling WandaVision, because it's superhero-y, might get like shut out the way
I think it'll
Watchmen
get shut out.
did.
Yeah, I think it'll be an honor just to be nominated. But at the same time, Elizabeth Olsen flexing all of those sitcom muscles from decade to decade, that could go, that could be noticed.
But then Kathryn Hahn is nominated, right?
Kathryn Hahn is nominated. Unfortunately, she's up against, talk about Mayor of Easttown, both Jean Smart and Julie Nicholson, who I think is going to win.
But I was going to say they could split the Mayor of Easttown vote. They could split the vote.
They really could. But Julie Nicholson was so good.
She was amazing. Yeah.
And then Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Is nominated for Vision. I'm not sure who else is in that category. I am a gay man. I don't know male actors.
But Disney had a few other tricks up their sleeve as well, as Mandalorian got nominated for a whole bunch of
24
shit.
nominations.
Exactly. Is that for season 2?
I guess.
Was it not nominated for anything for season 1?
I'm not sure. Did both seasons come out in the same time frame? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
The other one of note that I thought was hilarious is Don Cheadle got nominated for Best Guest Actor in a Drama. as War Machine in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Girl, you had 2 scenes.
He didn't do anything. He didn't
do anything.
He literally was like, here's the museum. Here is the museum where the Captain America's shield is.
It's so odd. Meanwhile, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie are like, hello.
Did they not get anything?
Nothing. Yeah. But WandaVision was special.
Yes. No, WandaVision needs some... I want it to win something, please. Let it win something.
Please.
Because it was just amazing. Amazing.
You know what I would love? I would love it if Paul Bettany won.
Yes. I mean, I want Catherine Hahn to win.
I want Catherine Hahn to win everything.
And also, just throwing it out there, if Jean Smart doesn't win for Hacks, I'm going to blow up something.
Yeah. No, of course. Of course. This is chaos magic, Wanda. Come on, that line read. That alone, Emmy-worthy.
She sang it was Agatha all along.
She sang it. She performed sitcom surgery in that series. Come on.
Love it.
Love it. It's chaos magic.
But I think we need to move on to something bigger and better.
Something grand
something
and glorious.
Something grand just happened in the world of X. And let me tell you something,
Hit it.
Brett.
Shit.
I want your ex.
I want your ex.
Hit it.
Black Widow and her mama, Rachel Weisz. Black Widow, is mom bad or is she nice? New characters whose accents come and go. Black Widow.
Oh,
you dead hoe.
Yeah.
So Gerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz, those clowns, they just released a new X-Men #1 with our new X-Men lineup.
Yep.
Yeah. First thing out of the gate that I noticed that I want to say, the X-Men, they now live 28 blocks due south of me. Which I'm so excited
You
about.
could probably go... Do you have like a rooftop on your building?
Yeah.
You could probably go to the rooftop and see...
the
X-Men
treehouse.
treehouse where you live.
Yeah.
You asshole.
Incredible.
You're cool. You get to have the fucking X-Men. I just had the fucking West Coast Avengers where I am.
Ew, you have the champions of LA.
Why New York? Why is it always New York?
Because New York is everything. In fact, one of my favorite lines from one of the data pages in X-Men #1 was when Emma Frost called New York, quote, one of her favorite cities. I don't know why I think that's so funny.
And just overnight they grew a tree, and that is where everyone is living now. So
that's where everyone is living.
So we have Polaris, Jean
Polaris.
Grey, Cyclops, Sunfire, Sync, X-23,
Wolverine. Her name is Wolverine.
Oh, right, Wolverine. She'll always be X-23 to me. Sorry.
My God. And is that it? Did we say Sunfire?
Yes.
We did. With a special... Oh, and Rogue. Did we say Rogue?
Oh, Rogue. We forgot Rogue.
And a special appearance by Forge, which was cute.
Mm-hmm. We're
building them the treehouse.
Syncing with Forge.
Sync making the bold statement saying, I think Forge might be our most powerful mutant. My God, his mind.
I know. What happens if you put Prodigy and Sync together in the same room?
Oh my God, and Rogue touching them. What happens?
I think they would just blow up.
They just blow up. I'll tell you who's really blowing up is this human race. They are so mad about Mars.
Yeah, apparently. Is this character that they introduce... Is this
Kelvin Heng.
Is he a new character?
I believe he's a new character, yeah.
Okay, so it's like Elon Musk is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk has been planning to go to Mars. He has it all set up. He's pretty much ready to go. Uh-oh. Krakoa just is like, oh, we'll just do Mars right now.
We'll just do Mars. Fireworks.
And so his whole thing, I will say, I like the idea of the villain, like the nemesis, his reason isn't because you killed my parents. It isn't because I hate mutants. It's literally like, I wanted to go to Mars first. And there is a little bit of mommy and daddy treated me like shit, and now you treated me like shit, so I need to get revenge.
No, it's like literally I licked Mars. It was mine.
Yeah.
And then you moved in.
Yeah,
he even said in the beginning he was like training his body to live on Mars. Like he wanted to live on Mars so bad.
Yeah.
Too bad. I mean, too bad. TS. For you, Kelvin Hang.
And it does look like this thing with Mars, now that they've taken over Mars, the whole entire world is kind of like, fuck you, mutants. Like, what, you think you just get to say you have Mars just because you want it? And in a weird way, It's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, we do. You weren't doing anything with it.
Yeah, you don't own Mars. No one owns Mars, so we just took it.
Right. Too bad.
And, yeah, it's kind of the same thing with, like, the moon. Like, no one has the moon. In a weird way, the U.S. put their flag on it. But that doesn't mean it's the U.S.'s.
You know what's so fucked up about humans is if an alien race from another planet decided to take over Mars, I don't think humans would be as mad about that as they would mutants from their own homeworld taking over Mars.
Well, I think in this world that Hickman has created, the new thing now, it's not that it used to be like, oh, your kid could be a mutant. Mutants are freaks. Yeah. Mutants are outcasts. Mutants are these like little freaks. Now it's kind of like, no, mutants we literally are telling you we are the future. And
they're replacing
we are replacing you. And I think they always said like we're Homo superior. We're the next step in evolution. But the X-Men world in the Marvel Universe has never gotten to the point where it's like, oh, this is now, it's actually happening. And so now we get to see what is happening when regular Homo sapiens have to witness themselves slowly being made obsolete.
Yeah. And I feel like this was an idea that Grant Morrison really kind of crystallized, this fear of replacement.
Yeah.
Not so much fear and hatred because you're different than me, but fear and hatred because you're going to render me obsolete. Yes.
But with Grant Morrison, his solution was, oh, the humans succeeded and decimated almost all the mutants.
Right.
Where here it's like, nope, now we're coming back full force.
Yeah. What you going to do about it?
And humans are awful.
They really are. You know, I think that's something we're learning in life and in X-Men is that humans are awful. Awful.
Yeah.
I've started calling straight people...
You're going to call straight people what?
Flat scans. I'm starting to call straight people flat scans. Like, the two worlds are merging.
I just... have you watched the 10-minute video of the Karen having a mental breakdown?
Oh my God, on
Victoria's
the floor?
Secret? Yeah.
Girl!
And then the fact is, you watch this, the fact is the cops still came in and the black woman was the one that got in trouble.
Yep.
The black woman's standing there.
Because because
she made the white woman cry.
Right.
Ugh.
And the white woman, like, cried as a defense. Like, it was
crocodile tears.
So phony.
It's so fake.
Oh my God.
Humans.
Flat scans.
Can we make a comic where people are like just going out and killing all the Karens?
Oh God, I would love that. I would love that.
And I think this. What did you think overall of this first issue?
You know, I liked being back in touch with superhero action.
Yeah,
loved that. Both in fighting this giant psychic alien and the friendship part, the Fantastic Four and the Avengers flying over and being like, hey, X-Men, yay, you're back.
Yeah.
Loved both of those aspects. What about you?
I really liked it. I felt it did the job of like, hey, we're kind of showing you some characters. We're showing you we're setting up. This is the new lay of the land. And now we're going to have like a really fun action scene. And the thing that I was not expecting is that it was going to go Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, Voltron. Yeah. They form a giant mecha X-Men.
That kind of looked like Nanny.
Now that mech suit is serving as the lighthouse of the Krakoan archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean.
Excalibur. Right?
No, I think it's like a Krakoan offshoot. It's not Braddock Isle or anything like that.
Oh, because I thought Braddock Isle.
Right?
Oh, was it on a Krakoan island? Oh, I thought it was the new lighthouse.
Yeah, it's like there's that smaller Krakoan piece in the Atlantic that was established way like House of X.
Yeah. Okay, I know about it. Oh, okay, I mixed that up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, so
I did love that like the mecha had a heart of fire, like a big fire X on its chest. Thank you, Sunfire. And then it shot a big optic blast out of its Cyclops eye. Loved that. Loved it.
And I also like it when people know. I like it when a writer knows what the optic blast is.
Yeah. Heat, right?
Brett.
A heat ray.
Brett, I will kill you.
Sorry, I'm channeling my inner Gail Simone.
And this is why, and I hate that I become that person because we'll get to Black Widow in a second. But when we talk about that, I want to talk about a review I heard of it that made me hate comic book people.
Okay, I love it. Yes.
But that's the thing is like I don't want to be that person, but it is. Yeah, I hate it when they don't realize that it's like a force beam. They don't realize it. But I also need to let go that I need to like not be the fat comic store clerk from The Simpsons.
Actually.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need to be that guy. Yeah. It's fine. You know they're force blasts. I know they're force blasts.
But Gerry Duggan knows they're force blasts, and that's what matters.
Gerry Duggan, yes. Pepe Larraz, now, he knows damn well they're force blasts.
Also, it's just like Pepe Larraz. How can you...
Oh, please stay on the book the whole time.
I mean, come on. It's just so gorgeous.
It's so gorgeous. He draws a hell of a Jean Grey and a hell of a Polaris and a hell of a Rogue. Love to see it.
Also, other than an Excalibur, Rogue didn't really have that much to do. And then there was a whole period where she was like in a coma. And before that, she was just like an uncanny Avengers. So it's been a long time since Rogue has like been on a team.
Yeah, and has been like good old fashioned fly around, let me at him, punch, 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 Rogue. The Rogue we love. My friend recently just rewatched X-Men the Animated Series or like watched a few episodes. And he's like, you know what? As a kid, I was always like, Wolverine. He's the most badass on the team. He's like, going back and watching it, he's not. It's Rogue. Yeah. Rogue is the badass.
Yeah, Rogue is like one of the most powerful. Like you could even say like, well, Jean Grey with her Phoenix. No, Jean Grey. Ah! Scott!
Yeah. One other thing. Sorry, I loved the Ben Urich scene.
Yeah.
Which took place at the treehouse in Central Park. And I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now. One other thing I love about Central Park is that they're naming the treehouse Seneca Gardens.
Yeah.
After Seneca Village, which was the black community that was set up in around 1825. It was a thriving black community.
Oh.
And then it was razed when Central Park was built in 1850. And this thriving black community, much like Tulsa in the 20s, was wiped out in the mid-1800s to make way for Central Park. I love that the X-Men named their treehouse after Seneca Village.
That's great.
So that's great. Ben Urich being like, so, I noticed at the Hellfire Gala, everybody was wearing Jumbo Carnation. That's funny. I remember when he died.
Yep.
And Scott was like, he didn't die. And Ben was like, no, he did. I reported it. Like, I went to the coroner. I saw his body.
And this is the interesting thing is they also put out in front, they put out a memorial to all of the slain mutants. So they are still doing this thing of like, no, we die.
Oh,
we die.
Yeah, we die.
But I will say the Jumbo thing seems very, that does seem very dangerous. That they were so outspoken about Jumbo being this new fashion designer when he did very publicly die. So now people are starting to and I think this is the book where everyone's going to realize that mutants can't die. And I think that is, you think Mars was scarier? When they find out not only can mutants not die, but every mutant that has died, they can come back. Sorry.
Yeah, and so humans are going to make it their mission to make sure they die.
And that's why the next thing that I'm waiting for is, if I was Xavier, I would take Legion and form, like, I'm still waiting for them to form a new 5 with, like, what is it, like Tempest?
Yeah.
Like, just
backup 5.
Like, where's the other 5 so they can just double their production?
Yeah.
I guess it's hard to find another Hope.
Yeah, I mean, like Cortez, Sync, even.
Oh, Cortez, yeah. But I find all of this, like, there's a lot of, like, and I will say, so that alien thing that landed, what was that?
Oh, another fun element. This whole idea of, like, that was all aliens gambling to see if this monster.
Yeah, so I have a question. Who was that? Who was the one, like, running
New
that?
character, I believe. The Celophon Jones, something like that. The, like, sentient fungus that came out of that skeleton.
Yeah, so this isn't connected to, because I was thinking, what's Jeff Goldblum's characters?
Yeah, I think it used to be. And he's like, thank you for being here, under the management change. So I think that was a reference to either Games Master or...
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Who was the lady? The lady who was recently
her sister.
new.
That was the Game Master's sister.
Yeah.
And the Fantastic
So now
Four.
it's this, like, this weird talking fungus who I kind of love.
Yeah. So we just have new enemies coming from space,
Like,
from
enemies
Earth.
from within and from outside. Yeah. Pretty great. So yeah, overall a great start to, I think an exciting new era, especially now that the resurrection protocols are probably going to start to become public knowledge.
Yeah. My main gripe is that I wish it wasn't just called X-Men. I wish it had something else so that it could justify making it a number 1.
Oh, I gotcha. Instead of just like, forget about that last X-Men book. Yeah. Which never really had an identity.
Like, but honestly, you know what it should have been called? The Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we have the Uncanny X-Men back? This is the longest it's ever not happened. Been a comic.
I mean, the last time was right before Krakoa, the book that Matthew Rosenberg's book that led into Krakoa.
Yeah.
Uncanny. It's great.
But I think we need to move on.
Ooh, we do.
To some blockbuster movies. Movie time.
Movie time.
Hit it.
Whoa, Black Widow, bam-ba-lam. Whoa, Black Widow, bam-ba-lam. Black Widow had a sister, bam-ba-lam, and she totally missed her. Bam-ba-lam, she said none of it was real. Bam-ba-lam, that wasn't how she feel. Bam-ba-lam, whoa, Black Widow, bam-ba-lam. Whoa, Black Widow, bam-ba-lam.
Bam-ba-lam. Oh, shit.
So EvilJeff...
Where did you see Black Widow? Did you watch it at home or did you go out to
in the movie theater?
You went to the movie theater. I went to the movie theater too. Sat in the back row so no one could cough their Delta variant on me.
I sat in my favorite... First of all, I got to see it with my friends in Chicago who I used to go see all the Phase 1, 2, and 3 movies with.
Oh, that's great.
So that was wonderful. And we sat where we typically sit, like front row, where the auditorium seating starts, so we can put our feet up on the railing.
Right.
So perfect. It was perfect environment.
Which one did you go to? Let me see if I still
We
remember.
went to the AMC, the one with the AMC River East on Illinois, the one with that fun barcade, FTW.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so, I tried my hands at the claw, didn't win anything, which is rare. I'm very good at the claw. Had a few drinks and then went to see the movie, went to see Black Widow. And like when that Marvel flip started, like me and my friend just started hugging. Like, we're back.
It's so funny because everyone just started like clapping and oohing and awing. But for me, I'm like, because I've been able to see the TV shows, like that was kind of, it wasn't if like, oh, it's been so long. I still felt like, it felt good seeing this in a movie, but I still am like so happy that we've had the TV shows before this.
Oh, absolutely.
To like tide us over.
Again, it all comes down to the thing we say once a show. Nothing will ever beat WandaVision.
Now, I might have mentioned it. I have not give a flip of a fuck about Black Widow. I don't give a shit about her character at all.
Sure.
I didn't give a flip of a fuck about this movie. So I think now, based on that knowledge, on the count of 3, we're going to do a loved it or hated it. Are you ready?
Yay. Yes.
1, 2, 3. Loved it. And I think because I had such low expectations, I was like, oh my God, this is like really good.
Do you know what's so funny? So, fun story, EvilJeff. I was recently on an airplane for the first time in a while, and I forgot to download songs onto my Spotify so I could listen to them offline. And I checked to see what was in my downloads. The only thing that was left in my downloads on Spotify on my phone was episode 6 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. So 181 episodes ago. And you and I introduced Loved It, Hated It. It was the first time we ever did it.
Which movie?
It was for The Gifted. And we both said loved it.
Well, The Gifted did start out good.
Yeah.
It did start out good and then went horribly wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, Black Widow, loved it. It had me from the beginning all the way through the end. I was riveted.
There was a moment I felt that the Nirvana cover montage.
Oh, I loved it so much.
See, I just feel like it's such a cliche trope that every movie trailer does a slow down minor chord version of a pop song. It's just, so I'm just being like, oh, is this whole thing going to be cliched? But then it moved on and then it was fine.
But it's like, it's fun for Marvel. Like like for Marvel to do a really weird opening title sequence like that to the Nirvana song. Like, I really love, one of my favorite bits of the MCU is like their needle drops, like when they choose to insert a popular song into a scene.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Except when they did I'm Just a Girl and Captain Marvel. Hated that so much. Everything else, every time they put on a song, love it.
Well, I think this is something interesting to compare to Captain Marvel, is like these kind of female-led
Sure.
movies, and it's just very different. Where in Captain Marvel, and I think also in Wonder Woman, the female characters are supposed to be these like archetypes and these like things you look up to and these role models and these all powerful beings. And then in this, here are just abused, forced hysterectomy, brainwashed women trying to like get over their trauma. And I'm like, that's way more interesting to me.
So much taken from them. I'm realizing now, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, all movies where them as a little girl played significantly into the story.
Yeah.
You don't see that with the guy heroes.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's because when you cut back from their kids, they're just jerking off.
Because they're just like everything is hard from semen.
It's like, oh no, and then the whole world's just been handed to me because I'm a white man.
Right. Meanwhile, young girls really trying to figure it out.
Yeah. We establish in this movie that when she was, how old do you think she was in that? Like 10?
She's probably like 12.
10, 11, 12. That she was forced to live undercover with a family with Stranger Things dude. What's his name?
David Harbour.
And Rachel Weisz. And
who I just love.
Of course, she's amazing. And a future, what's her name? Selena? No, what's?
Yelena Belova?
Yelena. I keep wanting to call her Selena, but it's Yelena. with the future of Yelena. And they kind of formed this little family until then they were like, oh, mission's over. We got to get out of here. And
it was very The Americans.
Yes, I was kind of like Carrie Russell. Did Carrie Russell just call you? And then they just get taken back. After it's over, it's like, bye. Now you go back to be trained as lady assassins.
Yeah, so the family gets separated, even though they try to make a run for it. Or do they? Are they running from... I can't remember. Are they running from American forces or they're running from American forces? They were
always flying to go back to what's the main bad guy? What's his name?
And that was going to be my one hang up of this episode, like Petrikov or
him.
Yeah.
So they're all part there with him. And so then we kind of cut to the future, and it's very clear.
Well, one thing we see is David Harbour exhibits super strength while he's on the run, and we realize he's
a super soldier.
A super soldier.
And we cut to the future, and this is now taking place. And they even did it like kind of timeline-wise, where it was like, oh, it's like 21 years later. It's like, oh, it's like 2016. Oh, so this is basically
Civil War.
Right after Civil War, where she's on the run. And that's where this whole movie is going to take place. Until the very end.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Although it always is laughable. The same thing I felt like about Solo. Like whenever you have a prequel where they're in a dangerous jam.
Right.
You're like, well, I know she's not going to die.
She's not going to die, but I know she's going to die later.
Yeah. So it is weird watching a show where you're caring about someone when you know they're going to die. It's very weird. And usually I don't like it. But also,
what worked, though, is they surrounded Black Widow with family.
Yes, and so you cared about this
also
family.
Were invested in.
So you became invested with this family. And also how she was like, fuck this family and I don't care. And you get this
they
kind
were
of...
real.
Yeah, and the thing that is basically this movie, and I'm just going to say it here, this movie introduced one of the best female superhero characters ever, which is Florence Pugh. Like, she is going to win. She needs to win Oscars. Like, she is so good. She is so good in this movie. It's insane how good she is in this movie.
You. I'm so glad you're here with me. She makes everything she is in better.
Midsommar.
For being
Little
in it.
Women. What the fuck? And everything she does is completely different.
Yep.
And she elevates it to this insane degree. She's like the new, like, Meryl Streep. Like, I feel...
She really is.
I do feel like she is the future of acting.
Thank you, Jesus. I am so happy you are saying this. She brought a humanity to this movie that ScarJo, Vice, and David Harbour just simply are not capable of because they're mere humans.
Yes.
Florence Pugh is superhuman. Her faces, her inflections, the comedy, the nuance, the detail, the
and
comedy.
Heartbreak at the same time that she had, it was just so good. And because that's where you just realize is that her character, Yelena, is like fully brainwashed and part of the Red Room, which ScarJo, Black Widow, thinks she took down.
Sure.
Was that in a previous movie where she killed them all?
No, but in the first Avengers,
she talks about it.
In the first Avengers, not only does she talk about it, Loki says, "How are you ever going to get rid of that much red in your ledger?" And he says, Dorenchko, whatever the name is, Dorenchko's daughter. Right. And like Loki knows, and they brought that back, and they made that the crux of her pain, of Black Widow's past, that she killed this Russian mobster's daughter to make sure that the Russian mobster died. She blew up the building with both of them in it.
And the thing that's also fucked up is the only way she could get out of that was by making a deal with S.H.I.E.L.D. And S.H.I.E.L.D. was behind them blowing up the daughter, which I like that it's not like the Russians are the bad guys and the Americans are the good guys. It's kind of like, it's It's kind of a wash.
Yeah.
Everyone's awful.
And also when in Avengers 1, when Natasha and Clint talk about Budapest, now we know what happened in Budapest. She killed a little girl.
Yeah.
And he was in on the whole SHIELD mission, Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Love how Hawkeye kept coming up and then will be paid off.
Yeah. Oh, later. Yeah. I do wish he made a little cameo. I thought that would have been cool if we saw him at one point.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. But Yelena finally, during a mission,
Belova.
she gets hit with this antidote and is able to break the brainwashing.
Did you think that it was Scarlet Witchy? Like, me and my friend were like, oh, they weaponized Wanda's magic. But no, that's not what happened.
I did not think that. Just because it's red.
And they did the eyes thing. Yeah.
But now she's on the run. And I will say, when they finally meet up, Black Widow and Yelena, when they meet up, that's where you finally realize it's just like, hey, you're off being a superhero. Like, the Avengers are famous. The Black Widow is on the covers of magazines. She's famous. And Yelena's watching it like, this bitch just left me.
Yeah.
She just left me. And Natasha's kind of like, no, I didn't, but she did. And she purposely...
Well, she's like, what is it? It's not even like, no, I didn't. It was like, well, what does it matter? Like, we were never sisters.
Yeah.
The family was never real.
You're not my family.
Is so hurtful to Yelena. You could see it on her face.
Yeah.
How deep that cuts.
And then the best ongoing joke with the best payoff is when Yelena makes fun of her posing. She's like, you're such a poser. And
every time you land and you do that action superhero pose. Ugh.
Which then payoffs later when she does that pose. Like the whole entire theater like erupted in applause. So good.
Oh, she's so good. She's so good. And then, but not to sell the mom and dad short, David Harbour and Rachel Weisz.
Well, yeah, but that's the funny thing is when she learns that she did not kill this person. She did not kill Red Room guy, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
And the Red Room is still going, and it's awful. And she's like, all right, well, let's fucking do it. And the only way she can do it...
It's better than ever.
Yeah, the only way she can do it... They got
more widows than ever before.
Is they need to get the original family back together. Red Guardian, Rachel Weisz... and all of them trying to like stop it all. Yay!
Fun fact, Rachel Weisz's character in the comics is known as Iron Maiden.
Oh, really? I did not know
Yes. That. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the twists and turns, just like a good spy thriller, around Rachel Weisz's character.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy?
Is she good? Is she bad? Is she good? Is she bad? Is she good? Is she mom? Is she not? Is she mom? Is she lady?
Yeah. I will say towards the end, you're kind of like, it's one of those things because we know she lives. I kind of was just like, I know where this is all going. All right, she's going to free all of them. They're going to release the thing. She's going to see him. She's going to kill this. Like, it's kind of like, I knew everything that was going to happen, but then you're just like, how are they going to do it? How are they going to do it?
Yeah.
And I will say...
How much fun is it going to be?
It's very similar, too. Isn't it the first Avengers where the whole helicarrier falls? Or is that the second Avengers? No, first Avengers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I had some vibes of that, of just like this huge aircraft carrier just falling to the ground. And so we're having like battle scenes just in the air.
Which was
while
great.
People are falling. Very lucky that debris is falling everywhere, but never hits those parachutes.
No one gets hit once.
No one gets hit with a parachute or debris. Lucky them. And then we find out there's Taskmaster, which turns out to be, spoilers, the daughter.
The daughter we thought was dead that Loki brought up in Avengers 1. She ain't dead. I knew Taskmaster was going to be a woman. I knew it. I thought it was going to be Rachel Weisz.
I did too. That's what Joe was like, it's Rachel Weisz. And then we saw Rachel Weisz and the Taskmaster together, and I'm like, no.
Like, woo! I was so relieved. Because you just want Rachel Weisz to be nice.
Well, not in, what's the movie with
The Lobster?
Emma Stone?
Oh, The Favorite?
The Favorite. You don't want her to be nice in The Favorite.
No, true.
But in the end, there's a great dinner scene with them where Black Widow is like, we're not a family. This is like, it was all fake. You're not a family. And Yelena's like, no, we were. It was the only family I ever knew. Fuck you. How dare you say that? Like, we were
Don't take that away from me.
And in the end, like, Black Widow has to realize, like, actually, you were my only family, too. Like, you are my family.
It was real.
You're my sister.
It was real. I love you. I'm going to die soon.
And it ends with her showing up blonde, just like she did before. Is that the Infinity?
Infinity War.
Infinity War. Like, it's all just, everything is just being set up just perfectly. It's just this little perfect placement in the MCU. And I'm like, beautiful. Of course.
And it adds such a beautiful touch in that in Infinity War, we now realize the vest she's wearing is Florence Pugh's.
Yes.
She got that vest from her sister.
The thing that I am interested in was, I'm like, okay, she doesn't die for another 5 years. There's the whole blip. I was very interested to know, is Yelena... I have a feeling that Yelena was blipped.
Ooh, probably.
So I have a feeling she was blipped, and then when she comes back, her fucking sister is already dead.
Yeah.
I think her sister is dead, so she never got to have that time. Because here's what... I'm like, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? And because there's a post-credit, it's Marvel. There's going to, even when we walked into the movie, it said there is a post-credit scene. And I'm like, they should always be doing this. Like, just letting people know.
But there always will be a post-credit scene. Always.
Can I just tell you this? Who are these people? It literally said there will be a post-credit scene when you walk
Who are the people who leave?
Who are these people that leave? Why are you leaving?
Do they know that they're just going to YouTube it in the car?
Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Do you hate traffic that much?
Do you hate fun?
Yeah. Fuck you. Don't come to the movie if you're not going to stay.
Fuck off. I fucking hate the movies.
But here, let's talk about this last scene, of which was going to be the first appearance of someone that ended up not being the first appearance of somebody.
I feel like it was reshot because there's no, like, exposition. It's like, oh, hey, you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, that's what makes me think Yelena wasn't blipped, is that she's so familiar with the person who shows up in the end credit scene, which is Val, Contessa Valente Allegra.
Julia
Louis-Dreyfus.
She shows up at the...
is very rude.
Yeah, of course. She shows up at the grave of Black Widow with Yelena.
Blowing her nose with my favorite line of the movie. I think I'm allergic to the Midwest. Love. I was watching it in the Midwest, so that was fun.
And Val decides to give her just a very, I would say, some disinformation.
Yeah. So interesting that Val might have some line of sight as to what happened on Vormir. How the fuck is that possible?
Well, I bet you she might have some indication of who went where with who on the mission.
Yeah, maybe like readings or something.
So basically she's like, hey, I know who killed your sister, who's responsible for her death, and hands her a picture of Hawkeye. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Leading us to realize that Florence Pugh is going to be in the Hawkeye solo series.
Oh, yeah, she's been confirmed. She's been confirmed.
Oh, love.
And also, there is rumblings that the next Avengers movie is going to be called The Dark Avengers.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
I just heard these are rumblings. This is not based on anything.
Well, rumble away. Because I'm pretty clear. I'm pretty certain that Val is forming the Thunderbolts on behalf of General Thunderbolt Ross, who was also in Black Widow, who is not looking too good, I might add.
Mm-hmm. Who?
So, William Hurt.
Oh. What, you think he's dying or something?
I don't know. He just looks really old. I think like they put youngening makeup on him, maybe. Not looking good, which worries me. When he first appeared on camera, I was like, oh boy. But I'm pretty sure he hired Val to put together his own Avengers, and they will be named after him, the Thunderbolts.
That does make sense.
And I think that seeing Shang-Chi in the... seeing Abomination in the Shang-Chi trailer makes me think Abomination is going to be the next recruit.
Well, that's the thing, is who's going to be then the Avengers and who's going to be the Thunderbolts?
I think it's going to be the young Avengers that will have to take down the Avengers.
Right.
I mean, the Thunderbolts.
But you don't think Shang-Chi is going to be... He's going to be merged into that. Where does he fit into all that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The Thunderbolts feel like such a non-threat. I'm like, throw the young Avengers at them.
Yeah. Because that's the other thing, is it looks like that Tom Holland, he's not ever going to do Spider-Man again. So I have a feeling that's going to be put into a different universe, and it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Which is depressing.
That is depressing. But you never know. Things change.
My thing is, if you're going to do that, then I need to see I want Miles Morales then to show up.
And then, you know what? Maybe that's what they're going to do, which would be wonderful.
But it's still hard to do that when fucking Sony, that's when you're just like, what about capitalism? Hey, capitalism, Disney, why aren't you buying Sony?
I know. We don't want that.
I know. It's like, we technically don't want that, but I love but then when it comes to me, it's like, that would be awful for the economy. It would be awful because of monopolies and capitalism, blah, 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 blah. But then the Marvel Universe would have Spider-Man. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, that's all I care about. Thanks, y'all. Sorry, I can't stop talking like Miss Minutes.
I will say I am very excited for Hawkeye now. I was like, whatever.
Yes.
Now I'm like, hello.
Well, I mean, they're not team ready yet, but Hawkeye will introduce kind of, I think, the first young Avenger character that is kind of team ready. It looks like Kate Bishop, is in fighting shape, not like Billy, Tommy, Kid Loki, or Elijah Bradley.
Yeah. Well, wait, where does Miss America show up?
Oh, America will be in Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah. Because I think Doctor Strange 2, we're going to get Billy, Tommy, and America. Ant-Man, we're going to get Cassie and Iron Lad.
And we'll get Cassie, and she's been recast, so she's ready to go.
Yeah, and we'll get Iron Lad because Kang's going to be in there. Because I have a feeling it's going to end Kang in Ant-Man. It's going to end with the way they stop Kang is going back in the past and just let's raise the young version of him as a hero.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. In terms of your question of Shang-Chi, I think there's going to be a grand threat. Maybe that's Kang. Maybe it's something bigger. Maybe Eternals will introduce something Thanos level. And I feel like Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel, they'll deal with that while maybe there's a young Avengers team that winds up dealing with these Thunderbolts.
But that's the thing is I want to see, are we still going to have Thor? I would love it if it's like Shang-Chi, Thor, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch.
Right.
Vision.
Monica Rambeau. And then you'll have Ms. Marvel with her squad.
I mean, she'd probably be put on the Young Avengers.
Oh, absolutely.
But where will Squirrel Girl be?
On Freeform, Saturdays.
Oh, my goodness.
3 p.m.
Well, I will say, but this is all exciting. It's all coming back. And our next one
it's all great.
Shang-Chi's coming. I will tell you this. That movie, they played the trailer for that movie again. I'm like, this looks so good. This is where I'm worried because I'm like, I'm really invested in this one, which worries me because I have such high expectations.
I know, me too. It's like the opposite of Black Widow. I came in low and it was wonderful, and I was like, the best. Shang-Chi, I'm like, this better change my life. Yeah, it won't. It won't, but it'll improve it.
Well,
it's just think I say this every time a new MCU thing comes out. It started with Robert. Oh my God, so cool! Robert Downey Jr. is playing Tony Stark. What a weird movie. Look where we are now. Look, we're Emmy. Agatha Harkness is nominated for an Emmy alongside War Machine, Vision, and the Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
They're Emmy nominated.
And I will just say this, the thing I wanted to bring up before, on NPR, I was listening to their like movie review show. I forget what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a guy, and he reviewed animated movies. I'm listening to Joe, who's like a storyboard artist. And he's like, uh-oh. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, people that review animated movies are like, they're like total nerd. Like they're like geek nerds.
Yeah.
And of course he didn't like Black Widow. He loved Florence Pugh, but he didn't like Black Widow because it just strayed so far from the original comic history.
Oh, shut up.
Exactly.
Fuck off.
And
Just
I'm
fuck
like,
off.
they already strayed. It's already its
why do
own
you
movie.
get a voice?
They have to follow
Oh,
what the
God.
movies did, you idiot. Not what the comics did.
Who cares about the Black Widow comic?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on. But that's where I was thinking about that, where I'm like, fuck you. But if I see a new X-Men movie and Cyclops shoots a heat ray, I'm going to be super mad. I'm going to be super mad. I'm like, it just took me out of it because that's not his powers.
It took me out of it. How about when Cyclops was like, let's get some optics on the situation, and then shot his I-beam through I loved it. I can't wait for the MCU X-Men.
It's going to be Krakoa. It
has to be.
It's going to be Krakoa. I can't wait.
It must. I'll settle for nothing else.
Because guess what? We've seen so many reboots of the X-Men, and it's just the same.
We sure have.
It's the same shit.
We loved The Gifted.
It's the same shit all the time, and then they fuck it up. The Gifted, I will say, yeah, they were trying to do something different.
Yeah, look what happened.
Oh, here's something I want to bring up with the X-Men comic really quick, since we brought this up, because who was in The Gifted? It was Proudstar was in it, right? Was it James Proudstar?
Yeah, that was John Proudstar, the original Thunderbird.
Here's the thing that's interesting. Who is still dead.
Right, and even they say they're going to rename the Blackbird the Thunderbird or the Proudstar in honor of him. So was that pre-Cerebro?
No. Because I feel there's a ton of older ones that I feel that there's tons of old, because weren't the people from the original Krakoan mission that were killed? They've shown up. The original battle with Krakoa, that other X-Men with Vulcan.
Yeah, but
weren't those other girls killed during that battle?
Petra and Sway.
And they were alive in the X-Men comic.
Yeah. So what's the deal with
So
Thunderbird?
Here's the thing. I have a few theories with this. I want you to see, what do you think it is? They're using him as the
still dead.
People are still dead. B, they're using it. He's still dead, but he is alive, but is forced to be in hiding because he's the picture. C, he is alive. He's just called Mr. Sinister. And they can't, because they can't have, it's the doppelganger, like the clone thing.
Yeah.
They can't resurrect him because James Proudstar Barty is already resurrected.
Oh, that's so weird.
Right?
Oh, wow. Please, I want to explore that.
Right?
Yes.
I think that's what it is. I have a feeling that it's because Sinister has his body.
Wow.
Which for me, if that comes out, I kind of want to see Warpath being like, wait a minute, where's my brother? I want to see that confrontation going on.
Yeah, why has Warpath never been like, can I have my brother back?
Yeah. I feel like that's a whole ball of things that, like, ball of wax they need to, like, unravel and unpack. I can't wait. I think they're going to talk about it. I don't think they brought up James Proudstar for no reason.
Yeah. My theory is that he will be resurrected, but it will be not in the X-Men book. It will be on Comic Book Queer's legacy.
Dun, dun, dun.
I literally darted my eyes back and forth as if people could see me.
Well, Guys, will that happen? Who knows? But guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to tune in next week or the week after that. Just pretty much listen to us every week.
Every week.
We're desperate. We're desperate for viewers.
We're dashing.
Not viewers, listeners. Do you want viewers? Should we do a video thing one time?
Oh, write us in.
Should we start an OnlyFans?
Write to us. Yes. They're moving away from sex, so we better get in quick.
Oh, please. That's their bread and butter. They're not going to give it up. I just wish you were forced to put on there whether or not you actually do porn. Because there's some hot TikTokers that are like having OnlyFans, and then you're like, ooh. But then you're like, wait, but are you really naked in it? And then I just want to be like, can someone tell me if they're really jerking off? Because if they're just in underwear, I'm not going to spend $10 a month for that.
Exactly. If it's like PG-13 Insta.
Yeah, fuck that. I want to see something going in your hole.
Right.
And
take out the fleshlight.
And with that, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for listening to this wholesome comic book show.
And if you're like, oh, this is way too gay for me, well, I hate to break it to you. You're listening to this because you read comics. And if you read comics, well, then that makes you queer. Bye.
Bye.